Okay, dear friends, good evening. First of all, sorry for getting slightly late today. But now I am just going to start from the point I have left in previous class. And let us start from here. पहले MCQ 5 क्वेश्चंस देखते हैं, क्योंकि जो हमारा डेली मेथड रहा है, और 5 क्वेश्चंस, उसमें 5 नंबर क्वेश्चन में पहले ही बता देता हूं, थोड़ा सा आपको आगे से पूछा है तो, लेकिन आप लोग संभाल लोगे। मेरा विश्वास है आप लोग ब्रिलियंट भी हो और आगे आपने कम से कम कंटेंट तो मेरा पढ़ा हुआ है, तो इसलिए आप आगे संभाल ले जाओगे। अब देखिए क्वेश्चन नंबर फर्स्ट, व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स इज आर एसोसिएटेड विथ वैदिक सोसाइटी। माने इसमें से कौन सी विशेषता है जो वैदिक समाज से जुड़ी हुई है। पॉइंट 1, वुमेन्स पार्टिसिपेशन इन द सभा। ऋग्वैदिक कर दीजिए, ऋग्वैदिक। व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कैरेक्टरिस्टिक इज आर एसोसिएटेड विथ वैदिक सोसाइटी। पॉइंट 1, वुमेन्स पार्टिसिपेशन इन द सभा, माने सभा में महिलाओं की भागीदारी। टू एजुकेटेड वीमेन, बुद्धि शिक्षित महिलाएं। एंड थर्ड, चाइल्ड मैरिज, बाल विवाह। चॉइस ए 1 only, choice B 1 and 2 only, choice C 1, 2 and 3, and choice D 1 and 3 only. Be fast.
It's coming B.
What is the answer?
B.
Choice number B is the answer. Yes. Question number 2. What is the time difference between the Saka Samvat and Saka era and the Vikram Samvat, Vikram era? A 100 years, B 135 years, C 148 years, and D 252 years. My students, solve this question. मतलब कि सका संवत और विक्रम संवत में कितने वर्षों का डिफरेंस है? हाउ मेनी ईयर्स?
B.
Choice number B. Yes, correct answer. Question number 3. The social status of women declined with increasing caste and Varna division in society. Reasoning. It was considered necessary to maintain the purity of Varna system. It was considered necessary to maintain the purity of Varna system. मतलब असर्शन में आपसे पूछा है कि जो द सोशल स्टेटस ऑफ जो महिलाओं की सामाजिक दशा है उसमें गिरावट आ गई, और रीजनिंग में पूछा है कि जो वर्ना प्योरिटी है उसके लिए इसे आवश्यक माना गया। अब आपको चॉइसेस देखना है।
A.
Yes, choice number A is the correct answer. You are correct. Point 4. Which of the following statements are inferred by the fourfold Varna system in the Purusha Sukta of the Rig Veda? मतलब which of the following statements are inferred from the fourfold Varna system in the Purusha Sukta of the Rig Veda? Point 1. The Varna system was created by divine authority. मतलब कि एक कोई दैविक शक्ति के द्वारा वर्ना सिस्टम को क्रिएट किया गया है। एंड पॉइंट 2, हायरार्किकल डिवीजन एग्जिस्टेड विद इन द वर्ना सिस्टम। मतलब कि जो वर्ना डिवीजन है उसमें एक हायरार्की है, एक पिरामिड नुमा ढांचा है। और पॉइंट 3, देयर वाज चेंज इन वर्ना हायरार्की फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम। मतलब कि वर्ना हायरार्की है वो समय के साथ बदलता जाता है। और पॉइंट 4, द ड्यूटी ऑफ शूद्राज वाज टू सर्व अदर 3 वर्नास। मतलब इसमें से आप क्या इन्फर कर रहे हो? जैसे जो पुरुष सुक्ता में जो वर्ना के बारे में है कि एक आदि पुरुष का जब बलि हुई, देयर वाज द सैक्रिफाइस ऑफ ए प्राइमल मैन, सो 4 वर्नास ओरिजिनेटेड फ्रॉम द 4 ऑर्गन्स ऑफ दिस मैन। सो फ्रॉम दिस स्टोरी व्हाट हैव यू इन्फर्ड? You are having the 4 choices, and they are the choice A 1, 2 and 3, B 1, 2 and 4, C 3 and 4, and D 1, 2, 3 and 4. Choice number B is the correct answer. Yes, you people are genius. I am confident you will just solve all the 5 questions. What were the factors that contributed to the evolution of the caste system in ancient India? जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि वर्ना सिस्टम पहले था और वर्ना सिस्टम से कास्ट सिस्टम का डेवलपमेंट हुआ, यानी कास्ट सिस्टम का एवोल्यूशन हुआ। तो आपका क्वेश्चन यह है कि इनमें से कौन सा फैक्टर है जिस फैक्टर के कारण कास्ट सिस्टम का एवोल्यूशन हुआ। तो पॉइंट 1 है कास्ट डिवीजन बेस्ड ऑन बर्थ, ओके। और पॉइंट 2 हुआ द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ हाइपरगेमी यानी प्रतिलोमा मैरिज। पॉइंट 3 है एडॉप्टिंग ऑफ ऑक्यूपेशंस ऑफ हायर वर्नास बाय लोअर वर्ना पीपल। कोड चॉइस ए 1 ओनली, B 1 and 3 only, C 1 and 2 only, and D all 1, 2 and 3.
इसमें मिक्स है but maximum D.
Caste division based on birth, the practice of hypergamy, Pratiloma marriage, and third, adopting of occupations of higher varnas by lower varnas. Yes, all the 3. You people are genius. Really, you have solved this question and it is a matter of rejoice for me. Always you are solving. Even today you have solved 5 out of 5 questions. And questions are very conceptual questions. Questions were not so easy. So it is really commendable for you people. You have done a good job here. Now let us move further. So Buddha age today and the condition of women decline, dowry system, etc. So that point is clear. Society Varna. Now you are moving to social changes. So that is later Vedic society. Now I have dealt with certain things which I have to discuss with you. First of all, why did the status of women decline? During the Rig Vedic period, women enjoyed relatively favorable conditions or better conditions. However, as time passed, their position declined due to 2 main reasons. 2 main reasons I have discussed even yesterday. You people will inquire. You people will just underline. Point first, decreased involvement in agriculture. Means ki declining. In place of decrease, you can say use the term declining. Declining involvement in agriculture. In the Rig Vedic era, women actively participated in agricultural activities alongside their family members. However, with the expansion of agriculture during the Buddha period, more labor and slaves were required. Consequently, women's participation in production decreased, which had a negative impact on their social status. मैंने आपको बताया था, याद होगा कि एक्चुअली हुआ ऐसा कि earlier Rumila Thapar has given a very interesting information which I have to share with you. कि according to Thapar, कि agriculture was invented by women, but once agriculture based on plowshare started, actually it has been underlined कि basically agriculture. So basically agriculture was invented by women, but once the agriculture based on plow started, so then women started to lose its role in agriculture. So their role in economy relatively declined, and this decline led to the decline in their social condition. मतलब कि देखो पहले क्या था कि रुमिला थापर कहती हैं कि जो एग्रीकल्चर है उस एग्रीकल्चर को इन्वेंट महिलाओं ने किया था, बिकॉज व्हेन द मेल मेंबर्स वर गोइंग फॉर हंटिंग और गोइंग फॉर you can say just domestication work. So in their absence, the women were sowing the seeds, and later the just plants just कम फोर्थ फ्रॉम द सीड्स। मतलब कि पुरुष जाते थे शिकार पर या पशुओं को चराने फॉर द ग्रेजिंग वॉक, तो यहां पर जो महिलाएं होती थी वो घर पर, तो वो थोड़ा सा सीड्स को टाइम पास के लिए छींट देती थी बीजों को, तो उससे पौधे निकल आए। तो उनके दिमाग में एग्रीकल्चर का आइडिया है। लेकिन जब एक बार हल पर आधारित खेती का विकास हुआ तो उसमें महिलाओं का योगदान कम हो गया और फिर महिलाओं का सोशल कंडीशन में डिक्लाइन हुआ। तो एक फैक्टर तो यह है। दूसरा है रिजिडिटी ऑफ द वर्ना सिस्टम, यानी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ द वर्ना सिस्टम। सोसाइटी वाज डिवाइडेड इनटू डिफरेंट स्ट्रेटा थ्रू द वर्ना एंड कास्ट सिस्टम, with those in higher varnas enjoying more resources and privileges. To maintain this system, the upper varna members sought to exert greater control over women. This led to a more complex varna system, ultimately resulting in a decline in social standing of women. मतलब हुआ ऐसा कि जो मैंने अभी अभी आप क्वेश्चन आपने कवर किया होगा, याद होगा कि आई हैव जस्ट डन दिस वी हैव जस्ट फिनिश दिस क्वेश्चन, जो आपने आंसर किया है तो आपको नॉलेज में है कि what happened. तो in order to maintain the varna purity, the, you can say, leaders of society, that is called the Brahmanic element, so they consciously subordinated women to male members of the family so that there should be the proper control over their fertility. Otherwise, if the hypergamy is going to be encouraged, means that the high caste women are going to get married to a lower caste man, so that will definitely hamper the caste purity. तो मतलब कि अगर women को फ्रीडम देंगे तो caste purity हरास होगा। थोड़ा सा एक टेम्परेचर एक पॉइंट कम कर दो, गर्मी लग रही।
कुछ बच्चे 5th नंबर क्वेश्चन के लिए
5th के लिए कर रहे हैं। You are putting a challenge to the 5th number question. Why? अब ये पूछ रहा है कि what were the factors that contributed the evolution of the caste system in ancient India? अब there are a number of factors. One is the contravention of caste system for marriage. अब suppose you can say that is hypergamy. The first one, caste division based on birth. अब caste division based on birth, it means कि once birth became the basis, so then the contravention started, because you know कि earlier you were changing your occupation, your caste, your varna status was going to change. But now as varna system was based on birth, so once you are belong to one varna, you cannot change your varna. So you are going to contravene the rule. Then you are falling into the category of Varnasankara, and Varnasankara becomes a caste. मतलब पहले क्या था कि अब वर्ना में क्या था कि सोशल मोबिलिटी थी। आप वर्ना स्टेटस ऑक्यूपेशन चेंज करते, आपका वर्ना स्टेटस चेंज हो जाता। ओके, अब इसमें क्या हुआ कि ऐसी बात नहीं रह गई। अब आपको वर्ना स्टेटस चेंज नहीं होगा, आपका वर्ना स्टेटस अब चेंज नहीं होगा। आपका बर्थ है तो आपको उसी वर्ण में रहना होगा। तो आप क्या करोगे, आप कंट्रावेंशन करोगे। अब जैसे देखो रेड लाइट लग गया, तो रेड लाइट रोड पर लग जाता है, तो इसका मतलब ये थोड़ा है कि लोग रेड लाइट को कंट्रावेन नहीं करते हैं। देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल हु आर कंट्रावेनिंग द रेड लाइट एंड दे आर गिविंग द पेनाल्टी फॉर दैट। सो हियर द पेनाल्टी द Varnasankara status. So you are not going to be classified in any specific varna. So you are given the Varnasankara status, and later this Varnasankara status will evolve into a caste, a separate caste. तो इसमें भी ये फैक्टर काम कर रहा है, ये फैक्टर काम कर adopting the occupation of higher varnas by lower varna. Even this factor was working. So all 1, 2 and 3, that is the correct answer. Why you are putting a question mark, and why are you putting a point of objection here?
So question Hars कह रहे हैं कि if varna was based on birth, then how they will adopted occupation of different varna?
यही तो प्रॉब्लम है हर्ष, यही तो प्रॉब्लम है। तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन यह है कि वर्ना वाज बेस्ड ऑन बर्थ, देन इन व्हाट वे इट इज गोइंग टू अडॉप्ट द ऑक्यूपेशन ऑफ लोअर वर्ना, यू कैन से adopt the occupation of higher varna by lower varna. यही तो है। जैसे पहले आप अगर लोअर वर्ना के होते और हायर वर्ना के ऑक्यूपेशन को यूजर्व करते तो आपका वर्ना स्टेटस चेंज हो जाता। चूंकि बर्थ है ही नहीं, आपका वर्ना स्टेटस बदल जाता। अब आप चूंकि बर्थ हो गया, इसलिए अगर आप ऊपर के वर्ना को ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट करोगे तो अलाउड नहीं होगा, उल्टा वर्ण संकरा में चले जाओगे और तब उसमें कास्ट का स्टेटस मिल जाए।
अंकित कह रहे हैं ऋग्वेदिक इंक्लूड्स वुमेन एजुकेशन, हाउ इज इट करेक्ट?
यस, डेफिनेटली।
और आगे कह रहे हैं कि प्लीज एक्सप्लेन व्हाई नॉट इंक्लूडेड चाइल्ड मैरिज।
चाइल्ड मैरिज विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम पोस्ट मौर्य पीरियड, मनु संहिता। Child marriage, even yesterday I have made this point clear, in Rigvedic and later Vedic period, the condition of women, even in later Vedic period, the social condition of women didn't decline to the extent that the social evils like child marriage and widow system started. All such social taboos are going to start from post Maurya period, from the period of Manu Sanhita.
Question number 3 we can have.
Oh. All the questions are correct, my guys. All the questions are correct. Yes, this is a statement and this is reasoning, correct? In order to maintain the purity of Varna system, it was considered that women should be subordinated to male members. So that is the statement and that is the example, evidence, cause. So even the cause is, even there is the cause that will explain A, even that is evidence that will explain A, both are the same. Okay. So that is here. Why did status decline? So both the 2 points are clear. Then here you will find the term like Gotras, Asrama system, Sanskaras and Varna system. Then caste consolidation, incorporation of tribal groups, influence of I will discuss Buddha period. Let us explain here. Actually, you will find a term Gotra. Actually, this term Gotra, so this term originated in later Vedic period, and this concept evolved. Originally the meaning of Gotra was cow pain. Cow pain means where basically when the saints or the Brahmins or the Brahmin gurus, their cows were tied together at a single one place. So if their cows were tied together at a single one place, so that is supposed to be one gostha, because your cows have been tied together at a single one place, so they are supposed to belong to one gostha. And it is from the term Gotra originated. Originally, the Gotras belong to 7 original seers, original saints, original priests like Vasisht, Gautam, Bhardwaj, Atri, etc. But 8th Gotra belonged to Agastya. So initially there were 8 Gotras, and Gotras originally belonged to Brahmins, simply the Brahmin Varna. But later it was Brahmins who transferred their Gotras or gifted their Gotras to their Kshatriyas and Vaisyas, Yajmanas, because they were working as the priest class for Kshatriyas and Vaisyas. So for whom they are working as the priest class, so they are supposed to be their Yajmanas. So now they could transfer their Gotras to their Kshatriyas and Vaisyas, Yajmanas. Sudraj were not having Gotra. तो मतलब क्या है कि गोत्रा गोत्र शब्द से निकला है। ओरिजिनली ये 7 संतों के नाम पर है, सीयर्स के नाम पर है, ऋषियों के नाम पर है, और 8वां अगस्त है। और गोत्र पहले ओरिजिनली ब्राह्मण्स के होते थे, और फिर ब्राह्मण्स ने अपने जो ब्राह्मण हैं उन्होंने अपने गोत्र अपने क्षत्रिय और वैश्य यजमानों को दिया, जिनकी वो पूजा कराते थे। और यहां पर एक और भी चीज है कि इन अप टू लेटर वैदिक पीरियड द गोत्र एक जो गोमस अप टू लेटर वैदिक पीरियड गोत्रा exogamous marriage. Gotra exogamous marriage was not permitted. गोत्रा एक्सोगेमस मैरिज वॉज नॉट परमिटेड, मतलब ओरिजिनली जो तुम देखते हो ये गोत्रा से, जिसको कहते हैं गोत्र बहिष्कृत विवाह, ये इट वॉज सॉरी ये विकसित नहीं हुआ था, इवॉल्व नहीं हुआ था। मैंने पहले एक ही गोत्र में मैरिज हो जाता था। इट वॉज फ्रॉम सूत्रा पीरियड, मीन्स की फ्रॉम बुद्धा पीरियड, दैट गोत्रा एक्सोगेमस मैरिज स्टार्टेड, मीन्स कि the people from or the male and female from same gotra could not be married at that time. So this system evolved for the first time from Buddha period onwards. So here you are informed. This is all about gotra. Then second one you find ashrama system. What is ashrama system? Ashrama system was that actually after Upnayan Sanskara, that was called sacred thread. So actually sacred thread was observed differently for different varnas, For Brahmins, this time period for sacred thread was 8 years, for Kshatriyas 11 years, for Vaisyas for 12 years. So after that, after observing the sacred thread, then they were moving to their teacher's ashrama, their guru's ashrama. And then you know, ashrama system started. First ashrama was Brahmacharya ashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama. So Brahmacharya ashrama, actually here you will be surprised to know that at that time the maximum, the life expectancy of an Aryan in real sense might have been maximum 30 to 35 years. 30 years you can imagine. But theoretically it was conceived that an Arya was having a life of 100 years. So 100 years of his life theoretically was divided among 4 ashramas: Brahmacharya, Girhastha, Vanprastha and Sannyas. So Brahmacharya ashram means 25 years, and at 8 years, 11 years, 12 years respectively, the Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaisya, just boy, he was going to Guru Ashrama for getting education or for attaining education. After finishing education, when education is finished, there he had to lead a very simple life, just like the life of an ascetic. He had to depend over through, you can say, begging and earning their own livelihood, and they had to lead a very tough life so that the character building process might be completed during this period. So this is the ashrama system, the first ashrama. When his education is finished, so after finishing of his education, one sanskara was at that time that was committed. So this sanskara was known as Samapvartan sanskara. Samapvartan sanskara means your education has been finished. So after Samapvartan sanskara, your education has been finished, and then this guy whose education has been finished, so he was supposed to take a ritual bath in a pond, and Guru was just pronouncing some mantras at the time of bathing. So it means that now his education has been formally finished, and he became an asnatak. In Hindi, even today for graduate, the people are using the term asnatak. Asnatak means that he got the education, his education has been finished, and he has taken the bath, the ritual bath. Then मतलब मैंने आपको बताया कि एक्चुअली पहले गुरु के आश्रम में जाएगा वो, और 25 इयर्स तक का उसका जो एज है वो यही पीरियड है, अपना एजुकेशन फिनिश करेगा, एक बहुत टफ लाइफ जिएगा, अपना कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग करेगा, फिर उसका एजुकेशन पूरा होगा तो समावर्तन संस्कार होगा, फिर समावर्तन संस्कार के बाद उसको एक अनुष्ठानिक उसको स्नान करना पड़ेगा। जब स्नान पूरा होगा तो फिर उसकी शिक्षा पूरी होगी, और उसी समय उसके घर वाले, मतलब यू कैन से some his servants, managers, etc. on a chariot, they will come and with the very fancy clothes for this guy, but because most of them are coming from the elite family or the king, royal family. So he will wear for the first time the fancy dress and jewelry, and then he return home, and at his home all preparation has been already done, and then his marriage anniversary, his marriage ceremony, that was called the Vivah Sanskara. So Vivah Sanskara had to be finished, had to be you can say executed, and Vivah Sanskara has been performed. So after that he entered into Girhast Ashrama, that is, you can say, the second one ashrama. So in Girhast Ashrama he has to earn his livelihood, and he has to run his family, and he has to perform all the worldly duties. Then comes at the age of 50 years, that will be finished. Then comes the Vanprastha Ashrama. So in Vanprastha Ashrama, you know, that is between 50 to 75 years. So actually he is associated with his family. He didn't got detached completely, but he was not living in his active life and in his family, but rather he preferred to live in a nearby forest, although he was having the relationship with his family. And it was in the forest he was doing some sort of meditation and try to find out some meaning in life. So it was a spiritual exercise. Okay, and this ashrama would be finished, then he will enter into the fourth ashrama, that is called sannyas. In sannyas ashrama he was going to be lost in a deep forest, and he is not having any relationship with family, and maybe it was in this ashrama he would be finished and he will die, and no one is going to take care of him. So that is called sannyas ashrama. It was a complete spiritual exercise. मतलब वानप्रस्थ आश्रम में वो एक जंगल में रहेगा, लेकिन अपने घर वालों से अपना रिलेशनशिप रखेगा. लेकिन जो संन्यास आश्रमा है उसमें तो वो डीप जंगल में चला जाएगा संन्यास, और वहां पर लॉस्ट कर जाएगा वो. सो दिस इज द आश्रमा सिस्टम. अब व्हाट वर द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ आश्रमा सिस्टम? यू विल फाइंड एट द थियोरेटिकल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. So first of all, try to find out what were the theoretical objectives. One theoretical objective was point first, you can say, that is the ashrama system. So that is to manifest four purusarthas. Actually, in ancient period, four purusarthas were conceived. And the four purusarthas were artha, dharma, kama and moksha. The four purusarthas were artha, dharma, kama and moksha. My students, in prelims exam, if someone is going to ask you which of the purusartha is most important, choice A artha, choice B dharma, choice C kama, choice D moksha. These are the four choices. Be fast. Artha, dharma, kama, moksha. In prelims exam, you have to answer the question which one you will select as the most important. Be fast. इसको उठाओ. Are they replying?
Dharma.
Yes, you are right. Dharma is the most important, because in four ashrama you can say that dharma is visible in all the four ashramas. For example, in brahmacharya ashrama, dharma, simply dharma. In grihastha ashrama, dharma, kama and moksha. In vanprastha ashrama, dharma and moksha, and sannyas ashrama, dharma and moksha. Dharma is applicable for all the ashramas, you can say. That's why dharma. So one objective was to manifest four purusarthas, and the second objective was to be free from the debt of, and four types of debts. To be free from four types of debt. मतलब 4 प्रकार के ऋण से मुक्त होना। ये कौन कौन सा ऋण है? तो देव ऋण, ऋषि ऋण, पितर ऋण और मानव जाति के ऋण। ये 4 ऋण है, 4 कर्ज है, हम सभी के ऊपर उससे मुक्त होना है। सो दीज आर द थियोरेटिकल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स। अब एक कवर्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव है। कवर्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव का मतलब है कि थियरी में नहीं मिलेगा, लेकिन एग्जैक्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव था। एग्जैक्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव यह था कि टू मेक अ सिंथेसिस बिटवीन द इंडिविजुअल इनिशिएटिव एंड सोशल कंट्रोल। मतलब निजी उद्यम या निजी उद्यम यानी इंडिविजुअल इनिशिएटिव और सामाजिक नियंत्रण के बीच संतुलन स्थापित करना। क्यों? अब मान लो सबको बारी बारी से मौका मिले। अब कैन यू इमेजिन दैट कि देयर इज ए ज्वाइंट फैमिली। एक ज्वाइंट फैमिली है, उसमें दादाजी की उम्र हो गई 85 ईयर्स और तब तक पिताजी की उम्र, उनके बेटे की उम्र हो गई 65 ईयर्स और उनके पोते की उम्र हो गई 40 ईयर्स। तो अब क्या है कि 85 ईयर्स में दादाजी मरे, तब तक वो वही हेड बने रहे और जब उनका डेथ हुआ तब सीधा अब पोते 40 ईयर्स का हो चुका है, 45 ईयर्स का हो चुका है, तो सीधे वहां से उसका सक्सेशन 45 ईयर्स के पोते को मिल गया। तो जो 65 ईयर्स के पिताजी बीच में हैं वो तो गैप में चले गए। तो उनको ऐसा महसूस होगा कि व्हाई हैव आई बीन बोर्न, हम पैदा ही क्यों हुए। तो उनको ये लगने लगता है कि भाई हम पैदा ही क्यों हुए। तो इस तरह की फीलिंग्स क्यों आती है? इट इज ड्यू टू द फैक्ट बिकॉज यू नो कि अल्टरनेटिवली एवरी generation and everybody is not getting initiative and the right to initiative for doing his or taking the decision. But in the ashrama system, all would just get the opportunity alternatively. All had to enter into Girhastha ashrama. Then the father would be technically in वानप्रस्थ आश्रमा एंड ग्रैंडफादर इन संन्यास आश्रमा। लेकिन मैं एक और ट्रूथ आपको बताऊं, ये आश्रमा थियरी थी। जैसे आपके घर में गांधी जी का पोर्ट्रेचर लगा हो सकता है सदा सत्य बोलो, लेकिन आप झूठ भी बोल सकते हो जब जरूरत पड़े तो वही वो होता है आइडियल सोसाइटी का, और एक होती है रियलिटी। तो आश्रमा सिस्टम आइडियल है, रियलिटी नहीं है। रियलिटी क्या है पता है? एक ही आश्रमा था जो सभी फॉलो करते थे, गृहस्थ। अब एजुकेशन तो सभी नहीं जाते होंगे, और वानप्रस्थ और सन्यास में कौन जाएगा भाई मरने, तो सब गृहस्थ में रह जाते थे। लेकिन उससे एक साइकोलॉजिकल इंपैक्ट तो पड़ता था। अब सपोज यूज करो कि ग्रैंडफादर अब नहीं बार बार इंटरवेन कर रहे हैं या पिताजी बार बार इंटरवेन कर रहे हैं, तो उनको केवल इतना बताने की जरूरत है कि कायदे के हिसाब से तो आपको भी वानप्रस्थ में होना चाहिए था या सन्यास में होना चाहिए था। तो इतने मात से डर जाएंगे, पता नहीं कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि कैरी ऑन कर दे हमको वानप्रस्थ में जबरन, इसलिए अपना घर में रहेंगे भी तो चुपचाप रहेंगे। तो एटलीस्ट एवरीबडी विल find an opportunity to take the decision about his future. So it was a tool for making synthesis between individual initiative and social control. That is this ashrama system, you know. Then you find sanskara. Ab sanskara is another type of thing. In sanskara means that is certain imprint on our mind which are just made in this birth. So this imprint had to move on next birth as well. So this is the basic concept behind संस्कारा। मतलब हमारे व्यक्तित्व पर कुछ ऐसी छाप पड़ती है, कुछ ऐसे संस्कार, कुछ ऐसे अमिट छाप पड़ती है जो हमें इस जन्म से दूसरे जन्म तक ले जाती है। यह है संस्कारा का बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट। And according to Gautam, 40 sanskara, but practically 16 sanskara. And then 16 sanskara practically that started from the time when a woman was conceived for the first time. That is called Garbhadharan, first sanskara. Then Punsavan. If she is carried her pregnancy for 3 months, then there are the Punsavan sanskara. Today you know as Godbharai. And then after that you know कि दिन बच्चा पैदा होता है, उसके बाद संस्कारा शुरू हो जाता है। उसको फिर कर्ण छेद संस्कारा, उसके कान में छेद किए जाते हैं। मुंडन संस्कारा, यू माइट हैव हर्ड अबाउट। देन उपनयन संस्कारा, देन समावर्तन संस्कारा, देन विवाह संस्कारा, एंड देन दाह संस्कारा। दाह संस्कारा इज द लास्ट संस्कारा। So in this way the sanskaras, and normally the sanskaras were for high born savarnas, but some sanskaras were allowed for Sudras as well, and some sanskara for women, but Sudras or for women the sanskaras are not, pronouncing of mantras are not the part of sanskara. Okay, so that is all about sanskara. A Varna system. I have already discussed about the Varna system. Varna remained an ideal concept in Indian society while caste became the reality. The development of caste in India, has a long history that can be understood as follows. Originally, the Varna division was based on one's profession, and one's profession means one's occupation, you can say. Even you can use the term occupation. However, during the Sutra period in the 7th century BC, birth became the primary factor for determining Varna. This shift in criteria led to the violation of Varna system and the emergence of Varna Sanskara groups, which can be thought of as hybrid or mixed Varna categories. That is called Varna Sankara. In Varna Sankara groups, which can be thought as hybrid और mixed वर्ना कैटेगरी. देखो एक प्रैक्टिकली मैं आपको समझाता हूं कैसे. जैसे देखिए, हमने अब सपोज एक क्लासरूम है, जस्ट मैं आपको लेमैन टर्म में समझाता हूं, आप समझ जाओगे. एक क्लासरूम है, इस क्लासरूम में स्टूडेंट्स बैठे हुए हैं. एक मिनट के लिए आप इमेजिन करो, बहुत ढेर सारे स्टूडेंट्स बैठे हुए हैं. तो क्या है कि हमने यहां पर रूल्स निकाल दिए कि कोई भी स्टूडेंट बाहर नहीं जाएगा, और जो बाहर जाएगा उसको हम एंट्री नहीं देंगे. तो क्या होगा, अगर क्लास लंबा खींचेगा तो कई को पता चला कि भाई बाथरूम जाना है, कई को मतलब वॉशरूम जाना है, कई को पानी पीना है, चंद तरह के प्रॉब्लम है. एंड इट वाज क्वाइट इंटॉलरेबल फॉर देम टू सिट इन द क्लास वेरी सो लॉन्गर. सो वन बाय वन दे विल स्टार्ट टू मूव आउटसाइड, एंड आई एम गोइंग टू प्रोहिबिट देम कि नो, यू हैव नॉट टू एंटर इनटू क्लास अगेन. तो उनको फिर दोबारा हम क्लास में परमिशन नहीं दे रहे हैं. कुछ समय के बाद पता चलता है कि क्लास में जितने लोग बैठे हुए हैं उससे ज्यादा बाहर लोग वेटिंग में हैं. तो अब हम भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर लेते हैं, बोलते हैं ठीक है भाई, उन लोगों को दूसरे क्लासरूम में बैठा दो. तो वही बात वहां पर लागू होती है. जैसे आप अगर वर्ना, अगर पहले आपका ऑक्यूपेशन था वरना, जैसे अभी एक क्वेश्चन भी पूछा था एक प्रीलिम्स में, एक बच्चे ने, हर्ष ने, जहां तक मुझे ध्यान है किसी स्टूडेंट ने पूछा था, याद है ना, हर्ष ही पूछा था ना ये मुद्दे को, कि भाई सर आप कैसे कह रहे हैं, अगर बर्थ अगर हो गया बर्न का तो ऑक्यूपेशन लोअर वाला ऊपर वाले को कैसे ग्रहण करेगा. उल्लंघन तो देखो, कंट्रावेंशन तो तब होगा जब रिजिडिटी आएगी. रिजिडिटी नहीं तो कंट्रावेंशन क्यों. अब मान लो पहले था तो पहले आपका ऑक्यूपेशन बदलता तो वर्ना स्टेटस स्वयं बदल जाता. ओके, और अब क्या है कि आप बर्थ बेसिस हो गया तो आपका ऑक्यूपेशन, आपके बदलने से आपका बर्थ स्टेटस नहीं बदलेगा, क्योंकि आपका जन्म के साथ वो बदल गया. तो कोई एक अकेला व्यक्ति चाहे कि हम अपने वर्ना स्टेटस को ऊंचा उठा ले, वो नहीं हो पाएगा. तो उसमें क्या होगा है कि आप का जो बर्थ स्टेटस नहीं उठेगा ऊपर, तो आप अगर कोई ऐसा काम करते हो, जैसे या तो दो तरह से कंट्रावेंशन होता था, या तो लोअर, इफ द सम पर्सन फ्रॉम द लोअर कास्ट वाज गोइंग टू गेट मैरिड to a higher caste woman, so that is the contravention of varna, as it was hypergamous marriage, means ki pratiloma type of marriage. Or if a lower caste man, he was going to adopt the occupation of a higher caste, even that was the contravention of varna system. So it was also going to create the situation of वर्ण संकरा. तो जो वर्ण संकरा की कोटि में आए वो अलग कास्ट बन गए. तो एक फैक्टर. अब इसके बाद और फैक्टर आपको मिलेगा. The Varna rules were commonly violated for two reasons. Firstly, when a man of lower Varna, जो मैंने अभी समझाया है, and over time, and apart from these factors, several other also played. जैसे दो फैक्टर्स तो मैंने आपको अभी बता दिया कि आप अगर लोअर कास्ट के लोग हैं, वो हायर कास्ट के वुमेन से मैरिज करेंगे तो उसका कंट्रावेंशन होगा, वर्ण संकरा. या फिर लोअर कास्ट के लोग जो अपर कास्ट के प्रोफेशन को, उसके ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट करेंगे तो फिर कंट्रावेंशन ऑफ वर्ना होगा. इसके अलावा और भी फैक्टर्स है. इमरजेंस ऑफ प्रोफेशंस, सर्टेन एक फैक्टर. ये तो दो फैक्टर हुए, जैसे वन फैक्टर एंड टू फैक्टर. इसको आप थ्री फैक्टर मान लीजिए. थर्ड फैक्टर इमरजेंस ऑफ प्रोफेशंस. जैसे 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 सोसाइटी आगे बढ़ी, देखो वरना तो एक आइडियल है, लेकिन रियलिटी हो गई कास्ट। अब जैसे जैसे सोसाइटी इवॉल्व की तो नए नए ऑक्यूपेशन आए, तो कुछ ऑक्यूपेशन से जुड़े हुए जो लोग थे वो कास्ट के रूप में, जो नए नए ऑक्यूपेशन से जुड़े हुए लोग नए नए कास्ट बन गए। अब सपोज यू कैन से व्हेन टाउन स्टार्टेड, so a number of new occupations were required for cleaning the roads, cleaning the drainage, and the different sorts of works. So they were associated with the urban centers, So the people associated with different category of work. So later they evolved into the different caste. So the emergence of professions, that was the one factor. Then caste consolidation. Certain professions and craft categories such as blacksmiths, carpenters, goldsmiths and others consolidated into a specific caste. These castes became identifiable based on the specialized skills and expertise of their members. Ab suppose you can say caste consolidation. Ab suppose you can say कि some occupational groups. So blacksmiths, blacksmiths or ironsmiths you can say, or the copper smiths, the goldsmiths, the spinners, you can say the oil crushers, मतलब तेली हो, माली हो, ये सब धीरे धीरे जो खास ऑक्यूपेशन से जुड़े हैं कंसोलिडेट होकर डिफरेंट कास्ट में ढल गए. Then incorporation of tribal groups, because there was the gradual assimilation due to the phenomena of land grant. There was the gradual assimilation of tribal groups into the caste divided society. So that resulted into the rise of different caste, Then influence of regionalism. Regional influences also impacted the caste system, leading to the division. That is called proliferation of caste. Proliferation of castes. What were the proliferation of caste? I have to make you clear. Here I am making you clear. Proliferation. Now suppose you can say up to early medieval age there was the rise of regionalism due to certain factors. So these were the regionalism. So according to R.S. Sharma, अब now कि as regionalism developed at that time, so as the impact of regionalism, the people from the single caste, so they in different regions, actually they started to live in different regions, and there was the very limited communication with their own caste men living in other regions. So gradually you can say caste men living in the specific region, so develop the sense of dissociation from their own caste men. And later under the single caste Kshatriya, there were different subcaste. In a you can say Vaisya caste, there were so many subcastes. तो होता ऐसा रहा कि अपने ही कास्ट मैन थे जो रीजनल इंपैक्ट के कारण अलग अलग रीजन में रहते थे, उनके बीच कम्युनिकेशन लाइन टूट गया, तो फिर वो एक ही कास्ट अलग अलग कास्ट में डिवाइड करते चले गए. उसी को बोलते हैं प्रोलिफरेशन ऑफ कास्ट, मतलब कास्ट से सब कास्ट बन गया. अब ब्राह्मण्स में ही देखिए कितने ब्राह्मण्स हुए, ऋग्वेदी ब्राह्मण्स, यजुर्वेदी ब्राह्मण्स, ऋग्वेदी ब्राह्मण्स, सामवेदी ब्राह्मण्स, अथर्वेदी ब्राह्मण्स, यजुर्वेदी ब्राह्मण्स, नागर ब्राह्मण्स, कानकुज ब्राह्मण्स, मैथिली ब्राह्मण्स, सो मेनी ब्राह्मण्स इन द सिंगल वन ब्राह्मण कास्ट, तो ये इसको बोलते हैं प्रोलिफरेशन ऑफ कास्ट. Which is the factors. अब are you clear? Any problem?
Yes. सर कंचन करें कि सर कोई पर्सन हायर कास्ट का है और उसका काम लोअर है, तो उसको किस कास्ट में रखते थे?
कोई हायर कास्ट का है और जिसमें लोअर, आप कह रहे हो कि कोई हायर कास्ट का है उसका काम लोअर है, तो आप लोअर कास्ट के ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट कर सकते थे. अब बहुत लोअली, अगर बहुत लाउली आपका अगर ऑक्यूपेशन है, बहुत लाउली ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट कर लोगे तब तो कंचन आपका कास्ट स्टेटस गिर जाएगा। कंचन का क्वेश्चन ये है कोई हाई कास्ट का है, लोअर कास्ट के अगर ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट कर लेता है, अब मान लो आप लेदर वर्क से जुड़ जाओगे तब तो आपका स्टेटस गिर जाएगा, फिर तब तो हो सकता है अनटचेबल में भी फेंक दें। लेकिन जो नॉर्मली जैसे एक ब्राह्मण्स है वो क्षत्रिय के ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट कर सकता है, क्षत्रिय वैश्या के ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट कर सकता है, वैश्या शूद्रा के ऑक्यूपेशन को अडॉप्ट कर सकता है, माने हायर वाला लोअर को कर सकता है, लोअर वाला हायर को नहीं कर सकता है। कंचन, आर यू क्लियर?
Anjali correct, sir, where their ashram system was also following by women because in later Vedic period, later Vedic education right was there.
हाँ, according to theory, Kanchan, you are correct. Anjali, you are correct. Initially during Rig Vedic period, or you can say even later Vedic period, you know, initially ashrama system were permissible for women as well, at least theoretically. But in practice it was very difficult.
Anshul कह रहे हैं कि sir, how do we come to know about their life expectancy being 30 years only? Anshul.
According to circumstantial evidences, because at that time excavations have been done, so their skeleton have been unearthed, and after you can say carbon dating and the different, you can say up to date, you can say chemicals through biological method, all methods are being adopted. So even about the primeval man, or you can say the Chalcolithic people, Harappan people, Vedic people, you can calculate the what was the life expectancy at that time.
Sir, Bhavna कह रही है कि are Sakaldeepi Brahmins a type of Brahmins?
Yes, Sakaldeepi was the type of Brahmins, you can say.
Chankit कह रहे हैं, sir, please tell during sannyasi time how they perform funeral while lost in forest.
Actually, it was a theory who was not going to be lost. Very few people, later ascetics, just but in theory, not in practice. कौन जाता है जंगल में, सब घर में रह जाते थे.
तो पूर्वा कह रहे हैं, sir, why Brahmin doesn't transfer Gotra to Sudra?
Because Sudras were lowly, they were just going to treat Sudras as very inferior. That's why they didn't prefer to transfer their Gotra to Sudras.
If higher can adopt lower, then why not? But why not vice versa?
It was better to ask from, because then the occupation of the higher Varna was threatened, you know. So it was the high-born people at that time, Brahmins and Kshatriyas, they were very conscious about their status, that the lower people should not adopt their occupation. Otherwise, their livelihood could have been adversely affected. So in order to protect their interest, very simple.
So Gaurav can say, do only priests are decided all the system?
Yes, the priest class supported by Kshatriya, because both were beneficiary from this Varna rigidity.
So Vinay कह रहे हैं endogamy.
Endogamy means कि marriage in the same caste and same Varna, that is called endogamy, same Varna.
Muskan कह रही sir, what is proliferation of caste?
Proliferation means कि the emergence of sub-caste in a single caste group, that is called proliferation of caste. The emergence of sub-caste in a single caste group.
Nursing कह रहे हैं कि sir, Sudras are made to do work of the higher Varna. Then what work will they do for upper Varna?
They have to serve all the three upper Varnas. Everything has been mentioned in my study material, my guys. The duty of Sudras were just serve all the three Varnas, you know, three upper Varnas. I have already mentioned all the things in my study material. Please go through it. I mean, Maurya period, you know, basically what is the speciality of Maurya period, you know. A speciality was that in Maurya period, in fact, Kautilyan Arthashastra. So in Kautilyan Arthashastra, I will just later to come to know that Kautilya was basically, you know, Kautilya was a Brahmin. So definitely you can say that Kautilya was also protecting the interest of Brahmins, you know. But here, my students, you have to be informed that Kautilya was not so rigid about the caste division. And he was not tough towards lower caste and women. It was for the fact the priority of Kautilya was different from other Brahmin thinkers, the priority. Why? Because Kautilya basically, you will ask at that time, what is your objective in your life? So all the other thinkers will simply reply, dharma. But Kautilya was having the courage to accept that artha. Of the four important purusarthas, in whole of ancient history, you will be surprised to know that Kautilya was the single one thinker or single one social leader who expressively declared that artha is the objective of life. So his priority is different from other Brahmin thinkers. So that's why he was a bit liberal on the social front. So that's why you can say he accepted fourfold Varna system. Fourfold Varna system was emphasized by Kautilya, and Kautilya also talks about the privilege of Brahmanas. But he didn't disgrace Sudras. He preferred even to characterize Sudras as Aryas. And he told that he called Sudras as Aryas. And except Chandalas, he is not throwing anybody in the category of untouchable. Except Chandalas. And even about women, he was liberal. He mentions about a woman like Chandvasini. मतलब एक खास women को वो चर्चा करता है जिसको छंदवासिनी कहता है कि they were such women who were leading the life independently. Means कि he mentions even about the women who were leading the life independently. So he prefers to call them Chandvasini. Then he mentions about Oniskasini. Oniskasini मतलब those women who are living within the periphery of the family, जो family परिवार के अंदर रहती थी. And he was even liberal towards, the prostitutes and the pros. He even, he mentions about Ganika. He was liberal about Ganika, and he even accepted the prostitution as an occupation, and he allowed a state to maintain the different Ganikas as a source of income. तो उसका लिबरल उसमें अप्रोच है. और मैं आपको बताऊं कि एक्चुअली देयर वर द 8 टाइप्स ऑफ मैरिज एट दैट टाइम. 8 टाइप्स ऑफ मैरिज इन धर्मशास्त्र. 8 टाइप्स ऑफ मैरिज हैज बीन मेंशन्ड इन धर्मशास्त्र. दैट वाज अ टेक्स्ट इन 7th century BC. You might have heard about. So Dharmashastra, 8 types of marriage, even Dharmasutra, but only 4 types of marriage were acceptable. The 4 acceptable types of marriage were the Brahma, Brahma type of marriage, Deva type of marriage, Ars and Prajapatya. Brahma, Deva, Ars, Prajapatya, the 4 type of marriage were permissible. Normally you can say these 4 types of marriage were permissible at that time. Brahma normally in the Deva type of marriage, if some seer, some saint, some priest is performing the sacrifice, so the Yajman used to submit his daughter to this priest. So that is one type of marriage. It was permissible. The second type of marriage you can say कि the well-endowed marriage, मतलब ठीक जो normal marriage होता है. Ars type of marriage कि if the bridegroom's party used to give a pair of ox or cows to girl as you can say to bride as a gift. मतलब उसमें क्या होता था आर्ट्स में कि कोई उसमें मतलब ब्राइड की सेल परचेज नहीं होता था, केवल एक जोड़े बैल या गाय उसको गिफ्ट में दे देते थे ब्राइड पार्टी को. यही होता था आर्ट्स टाइप ऑफ मैरिज. और प्रजापत्या का है कि वेल डावर्ड जो मैरिज है वो अपना वेल डावर्ड मैरिज, मतलब कि अपना दहेज देकर जिस तरह से नॉर्मल विवाह होता था वैसे होता था। और ब्रह्म विवाह है कि वो एक दूसरे को बिना कुछ दिए लिए एकदम पीसफुली टाइप से मैरिज हो जाता था। तो इस टाइप से मैरिज हुआ। और फिफ्थ वन, दैट इज कॉल्ड गंधर्व विवाह। गंधर्व विवाह was the love marriage. It was not permissible. Then राक्षस विवाह, मतलब मैरिज by kidnapping. Then you can say असुरा विवाह, नहीं, असुरा विवाह, the sale and purchase of the bride. And then lastly you can say कि that is पैसाच विवाह, and passage type of marriage, in which some male is developing anyhow the physical relationship with a female and then making a claim over her. So that is called the passage type of marriage. So in 4 dharma type of marriage were earlier permissible, but Kautilya accepted all the 8 type of marriages. He permitted all the 8 types of marriages. अब कहोगे भाई कौटिल्य ने ऐसा क्या किया, अच्छा किया या बुरा किया? तो इसलिए अच्छा किया कि 4 जो दूसरे तरह का मैरिज है उसमें किसी तरह, मतलब किसी लड़की के साथ हादसा हो गया, किडनैपिंग हो गई या कुछ इस तरह की चीजें हो गई, सेल परचेज हो गया, तो अगर सोसाइटी उसको एक्सेप्ट ना करेगा तो उसका बच्चा भी तो एक्सेप्ट नहीं होगा, तो सोसाइटी में तो और भी उसकी क्राइसिस आ जाएगी। तो इफ गर्ल्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी, ब्राइड इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी, एंड द मैरिज इज नॉट sanctified, then even his child was illicit, and in that case you can say that will create difficulty in the life of the child and the mother both. So that's why Kautilya permitted all sorts of marriages, the 8 types of marriage. So Kautilya, in Maurya period you will find the normal condition. If you are moving to post Maurya period, in post Maurya period you can say this is the period of Manu Samhita. Here you can say it was going to be too much difficult, you know. It was going to be too much difficult, you know, the post Maurya period. In post Maurya period, the 2 factors affected society. 2 कारक इसने सोसाइटी पर इंपैक्ट किया. One is the assimilation of foreign elements. Assimilation of foreign elements. The one factor. And the second one factor is the assimilation of tribal elements. Tribal elements, you know. Actually, why the assimilation of foreign elements? Because this period is marked by continuous invasions from Indo-Greek, Shakas, Parthians and Kushanas, you people know in political history. So there was the great influx of foreign elements within society. So it created tremors within society. Second one, you can say that the phenomena of land grants started from this period onwards. So in peripheral region, a large number of tribals were joining Varna divided society, and they had to be assimilated within Varna divided society. So as there were the large number of influx from the outside within the Varna system. So it created some sort of tremors and some sort of, you can say, upheavals in the Varna system. So when these upheavals were going on, so Manu was born at that time, and what you know as Manu Samhita. So Manu had to face the challenge against this Varna purity, because a number of challenges from the side of foreigners, tribals, etc. So Manu, you can say the responsibility fell on the head of Manu to maintain the Varna purity. So that it was the one of the reasons कि why was Manu having such a tough approach to Varna system? क्योंकि अब मनु के ऊपर क्या हुआ कि वर्ना का प्रेशर ज्यादा हो गया वर्ना सिस्टम को मेंटेन करने का, क्योंकि दो तरफ से चैलेंज हो रहा था कि ट्राइबल एलिमेंट्स आ रहे थे, फॉरेन एलिमेंट्स आ रहे थे. सो दैट्स व्हाई यू कैन से कि मनु संहिता डेवलप अ टफ अप्रोच टू वर्ना सिस्टम. मनु संहिता, आई एम नॉट जस्टिफाइंग मनु, आई एम सिंपली मेंशनिंग अबाउट द सिचुएशन कि with which situation Manu had to face, which situation Manu had to face and which challenges Manu had to face at that time. So that is called Manu Samhita. So that was during this period. So in Manu Samhita you can say there were the 61 types of Varna Sankaras. If Manu could have mentioned about 61 types of Varna Sankaras, it means कि now there was too much pressure over the Varna system. So a number of people were thrown out from the Varnas, the fourfold Varna system. So the number of Varna Sankaras sharply increased in Manu Samhita. That is reflecting the tough approach of Manu to Varna division. Later the 61 types of Varna Sankaras, you can say they evolve into the 61 caste. Then you can say later, कि Manu initially just rejected foreign invaders, foreigners as Malek Chaj. He initially rejected foreigners as Malek Chaj, but the foreign invaders, they were not the common people, they belonged to the ruling class, so they were much powerful. They could not have been ignored for a longer time. So Manu became a bit pragmatic and he gave the status of second class Kshatriya to foreigners and they were inducted into the Varna system. मतलब पहले तो मनु ने उनको मलेक्ष कह के अस्वीकार कर दिया फॉरेनर्स को, फिर मनु को लगा कि भाई वो तो फॉरेनर्स हैं लेकिन है तो रूलिंग क्लास के, हम उनको बहुत समय तक नेग्लेक्ट नहीं कर सकते, तो उनको सेकेंड क्लास क्षत्रिय का स्टेटस देके फिर ले आया. अंकुर थोड़ा just reduce the rate of cooling. Second class Kshatriya, Then next one, Manu Smriti 61 types of Varna Sankaras. Then you are coming to this class, second class Kshatriyas, And then you are going to observe the third one thing, Second class Kshatriyas, 61 types of Varna Sankaras. Then women. So Manu, some of my students have asked me the question when the child marriage started. So for the first time in Manu Samhita, child marriage started during this period, Actually, child marriage started during the time of Manu Samhita for the first time, and not simply that, Manu was the first, you can say first Asmritikara who prohibited widow remarriage. So widow remarriage was for the first time prohibited in Manu Samhita. Okay, अब come to Gupta period. Gupta period. In Gupta period, you can say that actually Guptas, the title or the moniker or the nomenclature or the title that reflects that possibly Guptas belong to non-Kshatriya class, and some scholars believe that possibly they belong to Vaisya class. So as they were coming from the Vaisya Varna, so they were not enjoying the same respectful position as the Kshatriya ruler. So in fact, the Guptas were depending over the Brahmanic support, because Brahmins could have upgraded their pedigree in the status of Kshatriya. So according to some scholars, that's why Gupta rulers gave too much concessions to Brahmins. So during the Gupta period, you will realize that there was the Brahmanic revivalism. And once there was the Brahmanic revivalism, so fourfold Varna system was going to be complex. So during this period, you can say that fourfold Varna system turned to be complex, turned to be rigid, कर सकते हो, rigid. Actually, ड्यू टू ब्राह्मणिक रिवाइवलिज्म, मतलब मैंने आपको कहा कि जैसे गुप्त है, तो गुप्त के टाइटल से लगता है कि शायद वो वणिक मतलब बैकग्राउंड से थे, मर्केंटाइल क्लास से थे, तो हो सकता है कि उनको क्षत्रिय का स्टेटस चाहिए था और ब्राह्मणों के सपोर्ट की जरूरत थी, तो उन्होंने ब्राह्मणों को बहुत ज्यादा कंसेशन दे दिया, तो ब्राह्मण का रिवाइवल, ब्राह्मणिक कल्चर का रिवाइवल गुप्ता पीरियड में हुआ, तो वर्णा सिस्टम ज्यादा रिजिड हो गया। तो इसमें क्या है कि जो उन्होंने क्षत्रिय, वैसे उस पीरियड में ब्राह्मण्स के सुपीरियरिटी पर बहुत ज्यादा बल दिया गया और ब्राह्मण्स के बाद फिर क्षत्रिय का स्टेटस था। लेकिन एक जो आपको फीचर आपको गुप्ता पीरियड में नजर आएगा कि रिलेटिव डिक्लाइन इन द कंडीशन ऑफ वैश्याज, relative decline in the condition of Vaisyas and the relative improvement in the condition of Sudras. इंप्रूवमेंट इन द कंडीशन ऑफ शूद्रास, मतलब आपको एक आश्चर्य की चीज लगेगी कि रिलेटिवली द you can say condition of Vaishyas decline. It is a matter of surprise for us. And relatively the condition of Sudras improved. Why? So what is the reason behind the decline in the condition of Vaisyas? So R.S. Sharma has tried to explain that कि possibly कि there was you can say setback to trade, but setback to trade became possible after the decline of Gupta period. So there may be the one cause कि according to R.S. Sharma कि possibly now Vaisyas started to neglect the sacrifice, जिसको यज्ञ बोलते हो, the Vaisyas started to neglect sacrifice, the system of sacrifice as well as education. So that's why कि their social condition started to decline. अब why did the social condition of Sudras improve? It was due to the one fact. Because at that time the Sudras were involved into agriculture or cultivation. So as Sudras were involved into cultivation, you know, because if someone is going to ask you who was the Asmritikara that permitted Sudras for agriculture during Gupta period, the Yagvalk Asmriti. The Manu Asmriti belonged to post-Maurya period, so Yagvalk Asmriti, Brihaspati Asmriti and Narad Asmriti. These were the texts, so they belong to Gupta period, you know. So it was Yagvalk Asmriti who permitted Sudras and called Sudras as cultivators. So as the Sudras turned to be cultivators, so their economic condition slightly improved, so improved his social condition as well. That is the one explanation. And one important thing, my friends, so you have to keep in your mind, in fact, this trend, the relative decline in the condition of Vaisyas and the relative improvement in the condition of Sudras, so this became a common feature. This became a common feature during this period. And this feature has to continue in post-Gupta period and further in early medieval age. These trends are visible. There was the gradual improvement in the condition of Vaisyas and gradual decline in the condition of Sudras. And this trend has to continue further during post-Gupta period and during early medieval age. So that had to continue. That will not end. Okay. And next one. Actually, during this period, you can say that the concept of untouchability gained ground. Untouchability. Actually, during this period, you can say that one Asmritikara is Katyayana. So Katyayana is the first Asmritikara who used the term untouchable for the first time, Katyayana. And because there was the large influx of tribal elements within society, and due to the rigidity of Brahmanic system, the certain occupations, the social, you can say, condition of certain occupations declined. मतलब मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूं कि दो फैक्टर ऐसे हैं जिस कारण से अनटचेबिलिटी को इंकरेजमेंट मिला है. एक तो बहुत सारे ट्राइबल एलिमेंट्स हैं वो सोसाइटी में आ रहे हैं, तो बहुत सारे उनमें से अनटचेबल्स की कैटेगरी में डल गए. और दूसरा ये हुआ कि कुछ ऐसे ऑक्यूपेशन से जैसे लेदर वर्क्स करने वाले, तो उनका सोशल कंडीशन अचानक से डिक्लाइन किया तो भी अनटचेबल के कंडीशन में चले गए. और कात्यायन पहला है स्मृतिकार जिसने अनटचेबल वर्ड का अस्पर शब्द का प्रयोग किया था. सो दिस इज द वन सिस्टम. एंड फाहियान हु वाज द फॉरेन ट्रैवलर एंड लेटर ह्वेनसांग इन हर्षा पीरियड, मतलब in post-Gupta period, both have mentioned about the pathetic condition of Chandalas. Fahian in Gupta period and Hwensang in Harsha period. And here you come to know कि next one, condition of women. So condition of women relatively declined. Although in contemporary literature, women were given the ideal picture, and you might have heard about some powerful women. Like you can say Kumar Devi, the wife of Chandragupta the First. Then Prabhavati Gupta, who ruled as a Vaktaka queen. She was the daughter of Chandragupta Vikramaditya the Second, or Chandragupta Vikramaditya. And then you can say likewise Dhruv Swamini, the wife of Ram Gupta, and later she was married to Chandragupta the Second. So she was also a powerful woman. But they are the exceptions. In sum total, the condition of women declined because for the first time in Aaron inscription of Bhanugupt, Aaron inscription of Bhanugupt, you know, Bhanugupt, Aaron inscription of Bhanugupta. Bhanugupta was a regional king, माने सबऑर्डिनेट अफ्यूडेटरी ऑफ गुप्ताज, माने गुप्तों के अधीन एक छोटा सा राजा था भानुगुप्ता. तो उसका एरन इंस्क्रिप्शन था, और एरन इंस्क्रिप्शन के जो डेटेड 510 का है, 510 CE का है एरन इंस्क्रिप्शन. तो इट वाज इन एरन इंस्क्रिप्शन यू फाइंड द फर्स्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन अबाउट सती सिस्टम इन इंडिया. इन एरन इंस्क्रिप्शन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम यू फाइंड रेफरेंस टू सती सिस्टम. In Aaron inscription, you find the first reference to Sati system, the archaeological evidence of, the first archaeological evidence of Sati system, Aaron inscription, you know. And it was here you find even the evidence of Devdasi system. Devdasi system, do you know Devdasi? Actually, at that time, it became a center for temple prostitution, because the poor father was submitting his, you can say, the infant daughter and just to God in temples, and later she develops as Devdasi, and Devdasi fell a prey to the sexual exploitation of the priest class. So this was symbolizing the poor condition of women. So it is in the Mahakal temple, Kalidas has mentioned, he was a contemporary author, in Mahakala temple of Ujjain, he finds the reference of Devdasi at that time. And from 5th century onwards, you know, even the gotra of women, a gotra of women started to change according to the male. The gotra of women was going to change according to the husband. The gotra of wife, at the time of marriage, the gotra of wife started to change according to that of her husband. जो आज भी देखो ये रूल्स है कि जो सनातनी विधि से जो मैरिज करेगा उसमें वाइफ का जो गोत्रा है वह हस्बैंड के गोत्र के अनुसार बदल जाता है, वो आज भी है नियम. So my students, अब now what a new caste appeared during this period, that is called caste. Actually, when land grants started, caste you can say, that is a new caste, caste. When land grants started, so there was the rise of a scribe caste who was recording the land grants, and later it developed into a new caste that is called caste. and in which text the caste has been mentioned for the first time? तो याज्ञवल्क स्मृति, याज्ञवल्क स्मृति for the first time caste has been mentioned. And here I have to inform one more thing. Do you know कि during Gupta period women was having a property right for the first time. Women property right during Gupta period. अब सब बुरा बुरा चीज हो रहा है, एक अच्छी चीज भी हुई. Whenever women was offered property right, their life is threatened. Sati system started during this period and property right was given to women. And if someone is going to ask you, who was the first Asmritikara that gave women the property right, your answer should be Yagjvalk. Yagjvalk was the first Asmritikara who gave property right to women. Okay, so that over. Then you come to post-Gupta. Post-Maurya, Gupta age, untouched, post-Gupta. Now the same trends are visible here, my students, nothing else. Subcaste emerged, making the caste system more intricate. यहाँ पर कहोगे proliferation of caste. जो मैंने आपको proliferation of caste बताया था ना, वही ट्रेंड यहाँ दिखेगा, proliferation of caste. That is one change in society, proliferation of caste. Then the social status of Vaisyaj became almost equal to that of Sudras, क्योंकि वैश्याज का सोशल कंडीशन डिक्लाइन कर रहा और शूद्रा का ग्रेजुअली इवॉल्व कर माने इंप्रूव कर रहा. सो स्टेटस ऑफ बोथ ऑलमोस्ट बिकेम द सेम. राजपूत कल्चर ग्रांटेड गर्ल्स, मैंने पोस्ट गुप्ता एंड अर्ली मेडिवल इज द कॉमन, बिकॉज दोनों के बीच मैंने कहा कि कोई खास डिफरेंस नहीं है. द सोशल, उसके बाद राजपूत कल्चर ग्रांटेड गर्ल्स द राइट ऑफ स्वयंवरा. स्वयंवरा जो था वो किस टाइप का मैरिज था पता है? गंधर्वा टाइप ऑफ मैरिज. Swayambara is falling under Gandharva type of marriage. This was the love marriage, but it was permissible among Kshatriyas, you can say. तो मैंने यहाँ अर्ली मेडिवल और पोस्ट गुप्ता को कॉमन ही किया है. So Swayambara women's property rights increased and the commentary Mitakshara. Mitakshara was the commentary on which? On Yagjvalk Smriti by Vigyaneshwar. Who is the author? Vigyaneshwar. So played a crucial role in expanding women's property rights. जैसे याज्ञवल्क का अब ध्यान कर लीजिए, याज्ञवल्क पहले स्मृतिकारा थे जो वुमेन को प्रॉपर्टी राइट दिया और उस पर कमेंट्री लिखा मिताक्षरा ने, और मिताक्षरा ने और भी प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स को आगे बढ़ाया, यानी विज्ञानेश्वर उसी पर कमेंट्री लिख रहे हैं. मैंने विज्ञानेश्वर रोट कमेंट्री ओवर याज्ञवल्क स्मृति एंड ही फर्दर एक्सपेंडेड द प्रॉपर्टी राइट फॉर वुमेन. दैट वाज ए गुड थिंग. इंट्रोड्यूसिंग द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ स्त्री धन. स्त्री धन का मतलब होता है कि सपोज वुमेन व्हाट एवर गिफ्ट्स शी गॉट फ्रॉम द ब्राइड पार्टी एंड ब्राइडग्रूम्स पार्टी, सो दैट वाज स्त्री धन. लेटर द आइटम्स ऑफ स्त्री धन वेर फर्दर एडेड, even the family property which is divided among the different members, and if woman is attaining some part, so even it becomes the stri dhan. So Vigyaneshwar was going to increase the items of stri dhan, so that was boosting up the property rights of women. However, alongside the advancement, the harmful practices of sati and johar sati system already existed from Gupta period onwards, you know. What is johar? The johar was prevailing, it was the johar system was prevailing among warrior class, among Rajputs, you can say. The husband was going to, the Rajput rulers were going to the battlefield, and there was the fight against Muslim, invading Muslim party. So the women at home were threatened. Their chastity, their sacredness were threatened by the invaders. So with the safety purpose, whenever the husband was either, the rulers were either losing the battle, or even there was the possibility for losing the battle at all, the women used to throw themselves into the fire, and they were burnt alive. So that is Johar system. It was just reflecting the declining social condition of human. So during this period you can say that is Johar were introduced among the warrior class, seen as societal ills. That's all. Ankur, are my students clear?
Yes, sir.
My students, if any problem, I can solve your problem even tomorrow. Today I have sent you some study material on religion. But today I didn't have the time. I have been involved into this topic because a lot of things were left. So tomorrow I have to cover the area religion. And you people are supposed to go through my study material which I have sent to you today. So you have to go through the study material and then you have to come tomorrow. Okay.
Sunifa कह रही है sir, what is Asmritikara?
Asmritikara means कि they were writing some original text on Dharma Shastra and they were formulating the social rules. Who has asked this question?
Snifa.
Snifa, actually Asmritikara were basically the writers, you can say writers of social, you can say the formulator of social rules, and they were writing in Dharma Shastra. So on the Dharma Shastra they were writing the supplementary works, so they were known as Asmritikara. For example, Manu, for example, Yagvalk, for example, Narad, Brihaspati, Katyayana, etc. So they are Asmritikara. Okay, my students. So whatever problem you will have, I will just deal with the problem tomorrow. So I am stopping here. Thank you very much. Good night.